Hey guys, Huzzy here bringing you another video. Now, welcome to another profile review video. So we've done these, well, we used to do them years ago. We did one, a month ago maybe. And we're starting, as you might be able to tell, with my profile. So I thought I'd do this because we're kind of jumping around Diamond 2 quite a lot at the moment. We've even bounced in the last few days back to Diamond 3. And now, as you can see here of me recording this, we are Diamond 2 83 LP. So we're, well, unfortunately, I'm gaining about 16 LP per game. When I play my next game of solo queue, it is very likely that I'm going to be on, if I win it, it will be very likely I'll be on 99 LP. Which will be a bit of a bummer, but it is what it is. So I thought I'd do a profile review. So I've got my profile that I'm going to be mainly looking at. I do have another community member's profile. We'll see how I get on. I'll let him know if I don't get around to doing his profile, because I don't want him to, get excited that he's part of the video and then I end up doing 25 minutes on my own profile and then I don't want to do another profile if the video is too long. We might include him in the next video if I feel this one's, looking at my own account and doing a bit of a deep dive on it, is it sufficient? We'll see. So just to kind of go over the basic stats, we are currently Diamond 2 on a US. That puts us in the top 0.54%. So we are closer to the top 0.5% than closer to the top 0.6%. So obviously that is less than the top 1% in the game. We are still maintaining over a 54% win rate. Again, I have played like 3 games of flex, so that, there you go. It affected it. What have I done? I've done 3 games of flex, so that does affect the win rate by 0.2. So I'm still over a 54% win rate, so that's good. Champion wise of me recording this, what I'll do, by the way, I will upload this profile review. I'll upload it after this Fizz game, because I'm quite ahead in content right now. Like of you guys on the YouTube channel, I'm pretty sure the upload that's happened today is this Kale game. Is of me recording this, it's this Kale game. So obviously there's quite a lot of content from that Kale game to what I've played now. So I'll upload it after that Fizz game, because by the time this video comes out, I probably would have played 10 more games down the line. But I don't want to do this video and kind of spoil upcoming content or be too far behind, but we'll see. So to go over the stats, we have played 44 games of Anivia. So we have played a total of 225 games. So we're still maintaining roughly Anivia as 20% of my games right now, which I will say, it does feel weird to even have a champion that high. 20% of my games is probably the highest percentage I've ever have had of one champion. So am I okay with that? Yes and no. Honestly, like, a lot of you seem to love the Anivia. A lot of you want me to also climb and get a high rating. Anivia, it's not even like, I don't know what to say. Like, I like playing the champion. Some people over the years have said to me, would I ever one trick? The answer is definitely no. I don't get one tricking, but I will say I partially get it in the fact that I'm having a lot of fun with Anivia. The problem is I don't get the mindset of, I get bored pretty quick. Like today, in my play session today, you would have seen obviously the content. I played 3 games of Anivia today. That's a lot for me. Like, if I played every game of Anivia, I do not understand how people could do that. Like, and you'll notice every game of Anivia I space out because I can't really play the same champion twice in a row too. I get bored. So the answer is like, no, I would never become a one trick. I would never want to be a one trick. Like, do I feel right now that I'm reliant on Anivia? No. Like, yeah, she's probably my best champion right now. But if I wasn't playing Anivia, I'd be jumping on Nico more or whatever. Like, there's other picks that I can play. It's just Anivia's working for me. I will say part of the reason I think Anivia's working so well, if I might add, I really and truly believe Anivia is underrated. I would nearly put Anivia in the overpowered category of champion strength. Her kit is not broken. It is not easy to play. So when there are discussions in the community of people still want Yone nerfed, Viego nerfed, they have fundamentally broken kits. They aren't that broken. They're not. They are kind of easy to play in comparison, I would say, to Anivia. She doesn't have a broken kit. You need to make everything work to play Anivia well. And that's where I think she's actually weirdly never going to get nerfed. I would be so shocked if she gets nerfed because she's not very popular. She kind of flies under the radar, pun intended. So she is a pretty consistent champ right now. If you're looking for a new mid laner and you don't play Anivia, I think she's the champ to play. Obviously, we've changed up our build recently. We're now doing the Rocket Belt, and that seems to be working really well. That item has probably won me more games that were like on the fence than ever I had on Anivia before, like building Leandries. Like, it's been clutch in some of the games. Where Leandries isn't clutch, it's never going to make the difference of like that wall or not, because that's what Rocket Belt can do. Leandries would just give you that ticking damage to be consistent. That's what it can do. But anyway, let's do the deep dive. So the champions that we've played, 44 Anivia, 72.7% win rate. We're currently 170th in the world on Anivia and rank 43 on the US, so that's pretty good. Ari, my next champion, negative win rate. So negative win rate on Ari. Am I surprised by that? Yes and no. I think my Ari's not bad, but the thing with Ari is if you ask Doublelift what he thinks of Ari, he thinks Ari's trash. The reason being is you could kind of equate Ari to the Ezreal of mid. So Ezreal, very strong champion in the right hands. You could be a good Ezreal player. But the thing with Ezreal, to be as useful as other AD carries, you need to play at a 90 to 95% as well as you can play to be useful as Ezreal in a given game. If you're playing Jinx or any other AD carry that's kind of meta, you could play at a 70% and probably be more useful than an Ezreal. That's the point. And I think Ari is pretty similar with that. Is you can do really well on Ari, but you need to play nearly perfectly. We've all seen those moments of, you know, even when they pop up on Reddit occasionally, an Ari completely outplays a Vex. It was pretty recently. An Ari outplays a Vex, hits everything, dodges everything, and then she finally gets hit by Vex once, and she's dead. Like, poof, dead. That's the problem with Ari. I just don't think she has that modern absolute carry pressure that other mid laners do. I think Anivia has more carry potential than Ari. You know, I really, truly do. Kayle, my third most. Negative KD, but positive KDA. Not too surprising, because obviously Kayle is still quite bad in lane phase. You really need to work hard, and part of Kayle is obviously having that trust in your teammates, that they won't let the game end at 20 minutes, because you can't do anything as Kayle. That's the point. So please, team, don't feed. Let me get to level 16. I would say I will probably end up playing more Kayle the higher rating we climb, because in theory, when you're in Diamond 1, like right now, again, we're in Diamond 2, we're in the top 0.54% of the game. Do I have trust in my teammates right now? No, I do not. 100% no. I do not trust my teammates not to feed like crazy in basically every game. So to play Kayle when you need to trust your teammates is a bit touch and go, even at the rating I'm in. Next champion is Victor. And Victor, unfortunately for me, has just been a bit cursed. You can see the win rate is 40%, but the KD, the KDA is all fine. You know, I generally have okay performances on Victor, but it just does seem, there is a pattern that sometimes happens, is I generally have one or two champions a season that I could be good at, I could be okay at, but it never comes together well. The win rate doesn't work or anything. And guess who was that champion for me last season? Anivia, believe it or not. Anivia last season for me was the champion I could not get wins on. This season, she's my absolute god champion. So it does show that sometimes things are a little bit funky. So unfortunately, I'm not sure I'm going to be playing too much more Victor. It's just part of it. It goes without saying, is feel. I now feel like I'm a bit cursed on Victor, so I don't want to keep playing him. That part of it is that, I will say. Xerath, I do want to play more of. You know, in our only 13 games of Xerath, we're maintaining over a 60% win rate. That's not bad. Morgana, again, we played a decent amount of Morgana in the early season, and she's worked okay for me. The problem with Morgana is I would say you struggle to be incredibly impactful the higher rating you go, because Morgana Bind is a very powerful spell, but it's easy to dodge if you're very good at the game. And when you get up to the very, very good players, like in Diamond 1, for example, even where I am now, mechanically they were very good. Their decision making may not be, but mechanically players can just dodge Morgana Bind pretty easily, and it's less consistent. It's less likely to hit. So that's the problem there. Shen, the last champion we officially have a world rank on, because to get a world rank you need minimum 10 games. Shen is always going to be around for me, but I am just not playing top lane right now. It may be very noticeable I'm not playing top lane right now. KDA is looking very good. KD, not so much. But that's kind of how I've always played Shen. I never really go for KD. I never try to get a lot of kills on Shen because that's not my job. My job is to protect people. So we have over 11 assists a game on Shen. That kind of is fine. If I click see more, it'll take us to this page instead. Now, there are some picks that like some people have been a bit confused on. Vladimir, once again, KDA's looking all right. Another one of those champs that I'm probably going to leave alone. It just feels cursed. Like Victor, those are the two champs this year that I would probably say it doesn't matter how I play, I'm just going to lose most games. So I'm probably not going to play much more Vlad. I'm probably not going to play much more Victor. And that's unfortunate because I like both champions, but it is what it is. Go off your gut feeling sometimes. Just dodging a couple champs because like my Leona's pretty good. I will play Leona when I'm playing support. I'm very comfortable on that champion. My win rate on Leona is the same as Zed. I've played 7 games and on both of these champions, I've only lost 1. I will also continue playing Zed. I've actually had a lot of fun being back on Zed, if I'm honest. So, and as you might have been able to tell, one of the big differences this year as a player, I feel so much more confident. I am playing with more confidence. I am playing to win mid. You know, yes, I do have my frustrations of I get ganked a lot and I don't get many ganks. But if you notice the games that I do receive ganks, God, we really use them. I get fed in every game that I get ganks, pretty much. And even in games that I get ganked a lot, I still end up getting fed most of the time. So I will continue to play Zed. I'm loving that I'm back on him. And again, it's just having that complete confidence just to pull out Zed whenever I want. I still feel a bit funny picking Zed if my team is, you know, I don't want to pick full AD comp. So I'll only generally pick up a Zed if we have a Diana in the jungle or randomly there's a Ziggs bot lane or something. Then I'll be more inclined to play Zed. Or as dumb as it may be, you know, oh, we've got Kai'Sa bot lane and she's probably going to build AP. Then I'll bring out Zed. That's kind of the idea. But I love playing him. I love him mechanically, so I will continue to play him. Brand is always there if I need an AP mage in bot lane. Blitz, probably not going to play much more of. Again, I will say, this is part and parcel of doing this video. I did not know my win rate was that bad on Blitz. So that is going to put me off playing the champion. He, again, is a champion that struggles the higher rating you go, because what does a Blitzcrank want to do? He wants to hook somebody. It's a bit obvious the higher rating you go. And that's the thing. Blitzcrank's whole kit relies on hooks. People may compare it going, like, what about Thresh? He's good in high rating. That's the point. Thresh has so much more in his kit than a Blitz does other than hook. They both have a hook. Thresh has got an amazing flay. He's got his lantern that can save people. His ultimate in a team fight can box people in and slow a lot of people. It's just a lot more that a Thresh can do than a Blitz. Kind of Thresh is the modern version, if you will. And Thresh ain't even that modern anymore. Annie, not really played much this season. And honestly, my Annie games haven't even gone well. Viger is a champion that I'm currently picking up. Thinking more that I'm going to play more of the champion. I need more blind picks because most games I'm blind pick. Weirdly, I can't always play Anivia. So right now, the 2 other champions that I'm thinking of bringing into the pool when it comes to blind picking is Viger and Nico. Viger, again, look, when you think of the win rate here, the win rates here mean nothing. It's only 5 games. 1 win, 2 wins, whatever, here or there. Under, you know, I've always said 20 games is how I judge if someone's good or not for the champ. So again, my Ari, I've got 21 games. I've got 1 more loss than I do win. It's kind of okay. You know, the KD's positive. KDA's pretty good. So I'm not discouraged from playing Ari if I'm in the mood to play it. That's not too bad. Victor, I've nearly got to 20 games and my win rate is terrible. KDA, not as good as Ari. So that's where I'm not feeling Victor as much. Jace I need to play more of. And you know, there's other champions that I'd like to play more of, Gangplank, for example, and I'll bring them out. But that's just kind of like an overview. What I also wanted to do in this video is just to kind of highlight, if you click on like my Anivia, is you get to compare things. Now, again, this is not sponsored by this website. I haven't even mentioned what website it is. But if you look here, this is Huzzy. I'm in the color blue, I think, or purple. And the inner, the gold color is the average. So right now, on Anivia, compared to the average diamond Anivia, I am winning in pretty much every single category. It gets a bit closer when it comes to creeps per minute. It gets a bit closer with gold per minute, which will, let's be honest, is going to be mainly because of creeps per minute. But my killed participation is higher than the average diamond. Kills plus assists per minute is much higher than the average diamond. and damage dealt per minute, because I play very aggressive on Anivia, is much higher again than the average Anivia. Now, what we're going to do is, what is my goal this year? Master. Boom. What does that change? Well, if you notice, it's probably hard to see. I've changed it to Master. My creeps per minute has probably gone just in on the average Master Anivia. So that means I am under farming compared to the average Anivia in Master. That means I need to improve more on farm. And I have already improved in farm. It's noticeable I have. I need to more improve. Gold per minute also highlights that. But still, the positives, I'm still doing more damage than the average Anivia Master. I'm still involved in more kills and assists. And I'm involved in more kills overall. So that's all good. That's a positive. Just need to get that farm up. And that is something from this video I can recognize I need to get better at. Let's try to improve. And then, you know, team fights, I win nearly 71% of team fights. 1v1 duels, I win 71% of my 1v1 duels. So all of this is really good stuff. And, you know, and again, I can look at like what the average is. So we're comparing myself to the average Master. So if you look at this, the average Anivia in Master, I die on average 1 death less than they do. Kills and assists compared to the average person in Master, I'm just above. And I presume that's time of game potentially. I'm not really sure what the parameter is on the right. Kill participation. So in the first, if it is 5 to 10 minutes of the game, I'm not involved as much in kills. But then in late game, when it comes to 20 minutes, which is roughly when you start all grouping and getting involved, I kind of overtake the average Master Anivia. And roaming kills, I don't roam that much on Anivia, so I'm actually surprised. I'm just beating when it comes to, again, the 20-minute mark. I'm then taking over the average Master. Not surprised in the early game, I'm less than the average because I don't really roam on Anivia. I think she's awful at roaming. Damage done doing a bit more than the average, but damage taken, very good. I take less damage than the average as well. So that's all really good. What's also interesting here is it shows the breakdown of what my matchups are like. So Ari, I've got a 60% win rate. Victor, 75. Yasuo, 66. This is an interesting one. Xerath is known as a good champion into Anivia. Why? The range deficit. Well, in my 3 only games, I've lost won 1, lost 2. And, you know, you can kind of go. So what we can do is at the bottom, I've lost to a Cho'Gath, a Seraphine, a Vex, and a Twisted Fate. So is there a pattern there? Not really. They're not like, you know, Vex and Twisted Fate, you could argue, are roaming potential champions. Seraphine's just a support mid. Cho'Gath's a bit of an outlier. So there's no massive pattern there, which is good. So overall, that's not too bad. There's nothing like really alarming that, oh my god, I'm really weak against a Victor. I'm really weak against whatever. There doesn't seem to be anything there, which is good. And that's that. So what I wanted to do is just see if there's anything like obvious that I could look to improve. If I go into patterns, so much stronger on red side. So blue side, I still have a positive win rate, a 50.8% win rate on blue side. Red side, 57.5% win rate on red side. How many games? So, woo, they are quite close. So I've played 124 games on blue side, 134 games on red side, but it is a very clear difference that I must prefer red side, clearly. Surrendering, believe it or not, you know, I am known that I don't surrender too many games, and even when I do surrender in a video, like on stream or in a video, some people are like, damn, you surrender. It's like, no, I really don't. The average diamond player on EUS surrenders 21.5% of the games that they're in. I surrender 12.8, nearing half. That's not bad. And then we get into some like weirder stats here, but win rate after a victory, if we just win a game, my win rate goes down. And if I lose a game, my win rate goes up. Now, I will say this makes sense. Why? Because all I've been doing in the last week or two, literally, is win-loss, 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 win-loss. Thankfully today, which again I showed here, we actually broke that. I got on a 3-win streak after a loss. Because if you look at this, if I go into change the filter into solo queue, earlier in the day. So again, there's a 2, but win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. It was literally that, and then we managed to break free of that pattern, thankfully. So that doesn't actually surprise me at all. And then win rate after a hot streak. So the moment that I win 3 games in a row, that's a hot streak, I will likely lose the next game. But then, here's the bad thing, is when I go on a cold streak, 3 losses in a row, it's still likely that I'm probably going to lose that game too. It's more likely. So it's likely I'm going to continue losing, which is not good. Big thing here is when I have +2 kills, my opponent at 10 minutes, the average diamond player, when they have +2 kills than their lane opponent, this will be +2 kills their lane opponent at 10 minutes, a 61.6% win rate. I win 85.7 of my matches that I have +2 kills at 10 minutes. That, again, that is my point of, I wish I got jungle ganks, because that obviously, jungle ganks will help you be +2 kills ahead. I really take a lead and use it really well, and that clearly shows it. If I get ahead in the early game, my God, I will win a lot of games. And then here's the also thing, is this the consistent level, which I'm very happy about. If I'm 2 kills under my lane opponent, well, the average diamond player on EU West, if they're 2 kills under their lane opponent at 10 minutes, they will win 37.8% of their games. I will be dead even 50%. So it's still not an absolute shoo-in if my opponent gets ahead of me, and it's not a guarantee that they're going to win the game. Again, I win 85% of my matches that I'm +2 ahead. I still win, again, that's not many, but I still win 50%. That ain't bad at all. That's pretty good. It says here I average playing 5 matches per session, which, yeah, sounds about right. There are some streams that I only play 4 if I'm just not feeling it. There are some streams that I play 6 or 7 or 8. I think yesterday I played 8. So it does happen. And it does say here, again, can you take this data seriously? Again, some of this data, you know, is a bit, because like this, win rate per session matches count. So I think that's what it is my first game of the day, I usually have a 60% win rate. Second of the game of the day, probably what, a 52, 53% win rate. 3 games, closer to a 60%. 4 games, a 50%. The 5th game, very noticeable, drops down to less than a 40% win rate. So my 5th game of the day, what the hell happens on the 5th game of the day? Does my concentration go? Do I just come back from a break? I don't know. But clearly something's going on with the 5th game of the day. Because then also I bounce back. When I do a 6th game, the win rate goes back up to like nearly 60. When I do a 7th game, my win rate goes up all the way to 75. But then also, this reflects in this too. Gold per minute on session matches. So the first game of the day, I'm doing pretty good. You know, I'm fresh. I'm kind of not tired. And then it starts kind of going a bit worse. But again, the 5th game of the day, what the hell happens? So this is where I can use this video to be a bit of an eye-opener going, what the hell happens on the 5th game of the day? So when I play, you know, on Thursday of the next time I'm doing a recording session, when I'm on my 5th game, maybe I'll have a thought going, right, let's try to wake up, let's get the energy going, let's not make this a bad 5th game. So this is something that you guys can do at home too, is just see what your pattern is. Do you have a pattern? Clearly I do. And then obviously it bounces back on 6 and 7. Kill participation, vision per minute, all of that stuff. Win rate, you know, per game session, everything. Or no, win rate win rate per game duration. I would say this is quite clear. I like mid to late game. You know, I really do. Does this reflect that? Yes and no. So if a game, you know, if a game is a 15-minute stomp, I'm not a stomp 15-minute player. I don't play that way. You know, yes, I can win lane, but I don't play something that can snowball in 15 minutes, end the game, or force a surrender. Like Anivia takes a while to come online. Kale takes a while to come online. So most games that are 15 minutes, I lose. 45% win rate. Most games at 20 minutes, I'm still losing. Most games above 25, or at 25 minutes, I start to win above 50%. At 30 minutes, which I would say is maybe about the average game length right now, my win rate shoots up to about, what, 67% maybe? At 35 minutes, a bit of a weird situation. 35 minutes, it drops to like a 47, 48% win rate. And then at 40 minutes, it bounces up to about a 56% win rate. Bit weird. Like, again, some of this data is quite interesting because it clearly shows I'm strong at 30 minutes. I'm quite strong at 40 minutes. But what happens at 35? I don't know. Like, that's a bit weird. So, again, it's whether you can, like, look at the data and kind of see a pattern a bit. But that's also a bit weird. There's a bit of an outlier. I don't know. So that's really interesting. I can definitely use some of this stuff. You know, some of it I'm just happy to see some of the stats are good. You know, some of them I'm very happy that my stats are pretty solid this season. Clearly there's something going on with the 5th game. So that's something that I will definitely take from this and kind of go, we need to work on that. Like 5th game of the day, have a walk, splash some water on my face, make sure I'm really alert and ready, because clearly something needs to change at that time. And what I will do is, just as a bit of a comparison, who should we use? Should we just do Ahri? She's my 2nd most played champion. So what's going on with Ahri compared to my Anivia? So clearly, straight away, if you notice my Anivia, compared to the average Diamond Anivia, I was better in every single category. Not with Ahri. So clearly there's already something that, could be better at than Ahri. So the average Diamond player is involved in more kills and assists per minute. I do about the same damage, but they get a lot more gold than me per minute. They get more farm than me per minute, and that's it. So I'm losing out on gold, therefore I'm losing out on strength. So that is worth knowing. Again, here, stop CSing. This player creeps per minute usually considerably drops after 20 minutes, and 100% it does. That is something that I could have told you myself, because it's that kind of parameter of, I struggle when we're all grouping. I don't like the side lane, as I've always said, because I don't trust my team. They're going to get caught. And when we're all grouping, the AD carry kills everything way too quick before I do, when it comes to farm. So that makes sense. So what do I need to do about that? Well, maybe I do need to try and side lane and trust my team a bit, because clearly I need to get farm after the 20-minute mark. It does say here also, I've lost technically, because I have a slight negative win rate, I have lost 11 LP. In the time that I've played at Ahri this season, I have lost 11 LP total. So it's not disastrous. Again, if I win the next game on Ahri, I'm in a net positive with LP per season. So that's just to say. And then here, so again, clearly I'm pretty good at team fighting. Here's the thing, duels go down, compared to the Anivia, which was like 70% or something. I only win 44% of my 1v1 duels on this champion. So clearly I need to do something different. 88% team fight participation. I do value team fighting quite heavily, maybe a bit too much. Solo deaths are, and all the deaths that I die on Ahri, I die 39% of those times alone. So again, that's actually a bit high. I don't like that. And anything else. So I do drop off a little bit, well, clearly I need to just do better at being involved in the game if I play Ahri. I die less, that's the thing, is I'm dying less on Ahri than the average Diamond Ahri, but that's probably part and parcel because, again, I'm not being involved in the game as much. I'm not roaming as much or something, probably. Kill participation, again, the early game, the first 5 minutes, I'm not quite there. I'm doing okay when it comes to mid and late game, though. And again, roaming. Again, roaming is okay-ish in the early game, technically, but it does fall off in places, but then gets okay later. Damage dealt, again, I'm doing okay. I do more damage than the average Diamond Ahri, and damage taken, I do a little bit less, technically. But here's also the interesting matchups. So, Victor I struggle with, some matchups, and, a lot of matchups I'm losing to, too. So, clearly I need to be probably just a bit better Ahri. Like, don't get me wrong, I think my Ahri's okay, but it's clearly, there can be improvement, which is always worth looking at. So yeah, this has been quite interesting. If I click on patterns again, is there any other page that I can click on? Because again, if I click, what I didn't check, if like, no, I didn't mean to do that. If I go on like Anivia, I didn't go down here. You can click on like farming, objectives. You can look at all this stuff, by the way. So I will say, and now that we're in the end of this video, this is the website League of Graphs. This is not sponsored. I just think it's a very good website for this type of stuff. Because again, look, my Anivia, I've nearly gained 300 LP is because of Anivia. So that's pretty good. And then here, good Baron usage, good duelist, godlike Anivia, that's a world rank, and I'm on a hot streak. So yeah, so what I can recognize from this is I'm doing most things right. There's always worth improvement. Farm is definitely still something that I need to improve on, 100%. I need to. Because again, my farm, 5.6 farm per minute. 6.4, 6.7, 5.9, 6.1, 6.7, 6.4. So I will say 4.1. Oh, that was an ARAM. ARAMs don't count. What I will say is my farm has definitely got better. I would probably say my average farm per minute used to be like 5 per minute. Well, now it's 6. It's an improvement, but it needs to get better. So continue working on farm. Keep doing with what I'm doing on most of my champions. Probably, again, I'm going to drop Victor, drop Vlad. They're just not working for me. Continue to play a bit of Anivia, but not too much so I don't get burnt out. Continue to play Ahri. Just look to improve and actively, when I'm in game, play better. Continue playing Xerath. You know, there's a bunch there's a bunch of good champions that I know I can continue playing and improving. Viger, Nico, and you know, every now and then I'm going to look to expand the pool. You know, I'm going to, because that's just who I am. But right now, I'm very happy. We are on the trajectory of, we do pretty good in a lot of games. Our win rate is still at 54% in solo queue. You know, we're at 83 LP. Easily we could be living in Diamond 1 right now comfortably. You know, a lot of the opponents that we're playing against in mid lane right now are Diamond 1, and we're comfortably laning against them. You know, it's not a big deal. That's really good. Now the problem is, comfortably I'm in Diamond 1, you know, technically on 54% win rate and performances, comfortably Diamond 1. Do I feel that right now I could live in Master? I would say with my Anivia, yes. With other champions, probably no right now. So again, still need to look to improve, still need to look to get better, and I will. Farm is definitely a big issue, and honestly, what this kind of has opened me a little bit to is probably also roaming earlier into the game, which again, I don't like, and that's the thing. You guys know I don't like roaming. It's not the playstyle I enjoy. I like to be in mid. I like to be a mid laner. But maybe I need to roam a bit more than I am now in the early game to be involved and have a more positive outcome on my team earlier into the match. Because again, if your team are feeding in the early game and you don't do anything about it, then you're not to blame, but you could help the situation possibly. You know, maybe me roaming to bot lane at 10 minutes into the game, which I normally never do, maybe that makes the difference of the enemy team snowballing and they don't snowball. You never know. But that's going to be it. So I will say I'm just going to do my profile for this video because we're over 30 minutes. So I will include the other profiles in the next video. Sorry, Shmeon. I will let you know before this video comes out. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this kind of self-reflection, please do throw a like on it. If there's anything that you guys, you know, this, I'll open the doors. Normally I don't do this because I do not like backseating, because more often than not, it's not helpful, especially when you're live. But if you notice something with my play that you think I also need to improve in, let me know when it comes to gameplay. So yeah, like, let me know. Obviously, a lot of it, I will say, is farm. Still improve to look to get farm. Try to get cannon minions. The amount of cannon minions that I miss is appalling. I probably literally get 10% of cannon minions, which is bad. That's a lot of gold that I miss out on. But yeah, let me know. But anyway, that's going to be it. If you guys did enjoy this self-reflection profile review, do throw a like on it, throw a comment, throw a subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Call down the reckoning to bring back hope and peace. Restore our glory to live forever. Bring down the dark regime. I know how to unleash eternal.